Hello, Farlanders. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof. This is episode 798 of Farlands or Bust for your Sunday, September 6th, 2020. That's right. It is September. And that is how I secure the hidey hole from the last episode and continue west towards the far lands here in Minecraft Beta 173, as we've been doing since 2011. We got Wolfie, we got all our stuff we need, maybe some wool we should grab. I should eat those cookies too, because they're just taking up inventory space. Episode 798. This is being recorded the day before on Twitch here. Just got done playing a bunch of GeoGuessr. Today was a bad GeoGuessr day, I gotta say. The first two maps were real stinkers. What was the third one we did? I forgot. The interiors, that was all right. And then we got bamboozled. 4,999, and then it just fell apart after that on the interesting rocks map. Speaking of wool, let's get this wool. Yeah, if you're just joining the series, having not watched it in say a month even, it was a few months ago, or a few episodes ago, that we passed the next floating point boundary that we were expecting. And now instead of 2 texture pixels off, we're 4 texture pixels off with the jitter. So it's more noticeable, but I honestly think it's better. Like, it's more extreme, but it's less frequent. The jitter is less like jittery, and it's more just poppy. These are all technical video game programming skills. Skills and terms. Terms was also the word I was looking for there. That's neither here nor there, but we're raising money right now for Equal Justice Initiative. At farlandsorbust.com, you'll find links to our Tiltify campaign. Currently raised $42.40 because we just started supporting Equal Justice Initiative. I feel like I didn't, in talking about why we switched charities, I didn't do a good job of explaining what Equal Justice Initiative is, or EJI for short. But this is their kind of 2-sentence introduction. Equal Justice Initiative is a nonprofit human rights organization committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the United States, challenging racial and economic injustices, and protecting the basic human rights for the most vulnerable people in American society. EJI provides legal representation to the people who have been illegally convicted, unfairly sentenced, or abused in state jails and prisons. Amongst other things, they also do education and research and activism in that regard as well. So that is who we are supporting for the latter half here of Season 8 of Far Lands or Bust. Like I said, you can find the information and the links to support, to donate, at farlandsorbust.com. And when you do donate, you can ask a question. And we got some new questions here from donors to our new fundraiser, which I will get to in a moment. I was just saying to the Twitch chat that didn't get any, or at least any that I noticed, because I read all the comments. He doesn't. No problems with the jitter. No problems with the jitter, and no problems with the jitter at 60 frames per second. I have been recording and uploading Far Lands or Bust in 30 frames per second forever. Because I thought it would make the jitteriness worse, but I don't think that is it at all. I think people were adverse to the 60 frames a second because it was new on YouTube in general, and I don't think it had much of anything to do with the jitteriness. So I think moving forward, not that this Let's Play, I think, gains anything from the additional frames. It's not like a high-action looter-shooter, pooper-scooper, but I think, I don't know if YouTube algorithms give preferential treatment to higher frame rate stuff. I know sometimes they do to higher resolution stuff, like the 2K and the 4K stuff sometimes, I've heard. I don't know. Nobody knows. YouTube doesn't even know. But we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I thought I would just kind of bring a conclusion to that. And it really didn't take any longer to render in Premiere. I don't know what, something changed in Adobe Premiere recently where I'm now able to render these 30, 40-minute episodes in like 4 minutes. I don't know what it was. It must be doing some sort of pre-rendering or something, but that was something that would take like an hour in Sony Vegas. And I swear it was, I had it at a point where it was like 1-to-1. So like a 30-minute video would take 30 minutes to render. But something happened. Something magical happened. Really, really getting my monthly money's worth of this software that you used to only have to pay once for and then have forever. Whee! Indeed. We do have questions here. Captain No Name asks, very deep questions. Are they deep? They're deep. What is missing in the world today? Do you think humanity will survive to become an interstellar species? Do you think we should survive that long? I don't know. Well, I suppose based on our current knowledge of physics and the universe, I find it hard to believe that any species is interstellar. If you're limited to traveling below the speed of light, traveling to even our nearest star is still going to take hundreds of years. And if we don't figure that problem out, then we'd have to figure out the problem of making our lives last longer than the trip. Otherwise, you're talking about generation ships. And I just don't think our society, our, I guess, what you would call moral instincts, even. I don't know if instinct is the right word. Probably the wrong word. There are probably very many sociologists spinning in their graves right now at me trying to discuss this, but I don't think that that's a possibility. Certainly in my lifetime, and certainly even in like 5 more lifetimes. So, Interstellar? Yeah, I mean, faster than light travel is the thing of sci-fi. We don't know if it's possible. There's still a lot we don't know about, so it might be, for all we know. So yeah, I don't foresee that even in the best of cases, even if we like reverse the budgets of our defense military spending and give it to exploration NASA spending. I don't think that's the sort of thing that can happen. I think we need to ask, will we survive enough to survive? like to be an Earth species, really. I don't even see us becoming interplanetary. I mean, maybe visiting, but not like even the Expanse, the show The Expanse, is very optimistic about that. But the reasons aren't there. It's just, it's too far. Oh, is it 4 light years away? But still, even, yeah, you know what I mean. Let's go to sleep and not ponder these deep, deep questions. In the morning. And awakeness. And deep questionsness. So yeah, even, okay, Alpha Centauri is 4.37 light years away. Okay. Say we can travel half light speed. That'll take 9 years. Which we can't travel half light speed because, like, there's no, because the whole relativity, mass, time thing. I mean, we're at like a fraction of a percent of a decimal of a percent of a fraction of light speed. So, and then we still have to figure out the whole cosmic radiation outside of the Earth's protective magnetic field, outside of the Van Allen belts, which we still have to figure out even to visit Mars. It's no good if it takes 10 years to reach a place if everybody's dead when they get there. So yeah, I think what Captain No Name is getting at is more societal as a whole, not necessarily technical. Because then they go on to ask, do you think we should survive that long? That's tough. I think that's a weird way to put it, but sure, should, yes. That's not for me to decide. I don't, at that time scale, we won't even be humans. Like I hope we and the rest of the Earth and its animals and whatever survives long enough to evolve into whatever we can't even imagine right now. You know? Like, all of what we call humans happened in, like, the last 4,000, maybe 10,000 years. And, like, that's just too short of a time span to have any sort of biological evolution be specifically apparent. And that's all going to happen on Earth. So, yeah, I mean, I would certainly hope so. The problems we're encountering right specifically now are definitely cultural, societal, and hopefully, even if it is, and I hope it isn't, even if it is significantly harmful to the longevity, it hopefully is just another blip in the geologic timescale of this planet and life on it. That's too deep, Wolfie. That's too deep to start off the episode with. We gotta lighten it up a bit. And Disgusted Cheese has just the question for us. What are your opinions on cheese? Disgusted Cheese. So, am I to extrapolate from your username that you are cheese that is disgusted at something, or you are disgusted buy cheese? Is that your opinion? I like cheese. I've stopped putting it on things a lot. Like I used to, with my daily ham sandwich, used to put a slice of cheese on there. I haven't done that in a couple of years now. It just started to feel redundant and unnecessary. I barely tasted the cheese. But like when the girlfriend and I go out for like a picnic or even on a hike or whatever, we'll bring snack cheese and crackers and little, pepperonis for a little snack and things like that. I like cheese on pizza, obviously. We made our own. I didn't mention this in Farlands of Bust, but I did mention the tomato situation we have outside in the garden. We made our own pizza. Everything from scratch except the cheese. The cheese came from a bag. I mean, I guess technically the flour from the crust that I made by hand came from a bag too, but I made the gluten-free crust, and the girlfriend made the pizza sauce from our own tomatoes that we grown ourselves. Top that with cheese, and again, pepperonis, and bacon bits, and peppers, and it turned out dang good, I'll say. Dang good. And then we just had the leftover sauce on some gluten-free gnocchi last night. It turned out to be a good sauce, and she said it wasn't too difficult. It does take a lot of tomatoes to make a sauce, because they really do cook down. But we have a lot of tomatoes. we not as I don't think we're ending up with as many as we thought we would have. But the growing season is young. So yeah, obviously cheese on that. I put cheese on the pasta, a little bit of mozzarella or parmesan. But I'm not huge on like the fancy cheese aisle or refrigerator at the grocery store. You know, the weird blue or like, the wedges of cheese. I think the girlfriend is the same way. We had like a brie cheese when we went out to the beach. A spreadable, soft brie, but that's like a very light white cheese that barely has any flavor. She doesn't like strong cheeses. I do like a sharp cheddar on a hamburger. But that's about as deep into the flavored cheeses as I'll go. Speedrunner. So yeah, I like cheese, but not as much. I don't indulge as much as maybe as I used to. Trying to resist the urge to support big dairy. Bloink. Oop. So yeah. Thank you for that question. Knight Concord asks, have you noticed a difference in the slang used in the cities you've lived in? Chicago, Phoenix, Seattle. Have you adopted any unique slang words from one city that you still use? Slang. No, I don't think so. Primarily because, particularly Phoenix and Seattle are all cities that are primarily, like, their populations are made up of people who moved there from somewhere else. So I feel like there isn't much of a quote-unquote native local tongue. Certainly like the way people refer to things, and specifically like locations or places, like towns or like the airport. Like there'll be like shortened versions where like sometimes I'll be like, where? and it's just like people saying like the shortened version of like an I can't even think of one because I don't do it. Um, I mean, particularly around here, a lot of the towns and locations are very complicated to pronounce uh, Native American names, and no, I can't think of any like slang or terminology that that is significant in any way. No, I really got nothing on that one. Am I? Is anybody else from those places that can like think of slangs, words, terminology that I'm just blanking out on? I also don't hang around many people, so there could be that. Um, hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's my answer. It's a bad answer, but it's still my answer. Night Concord. Yeah, a PDX. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like people call the airport here SeaTac because it is SeaTac. But like, if you don't know that, then you might be like, the what now? I also think like, don't people say Bell instead of Bellingham or like the Bell or something? I don't know. I could be also in just making that up myself because I'm weird and a nerd. Um, yeah, but there's like town names that have like short names or like the major roads, the highways or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to sleep and continuing in the morning. And awakeness. Wolfie's doing fine. Got wood and wool, and boats. Night Concord, like I said, had a few more questions here. Do you have a favorite villain from movies, TV, or books? How about a favorite car driven by a villain? Favorite villain? Eh, hmm. I don't know. I never really liked the villains. I think like the favorite like best performed villain was definitely Heath Ledger's Joker in the Batman movie. Um, it's got a weird. That's got a even saying that has like a little bit of a squick to it, just because it has like that Joker has been kind of co-opted by like just an unsavory crowd. Let's call it. Um, the Raptors in Jurassic Park, and they drive a Jeep. Cars driven by villains. I don't know of many cars driven by villains. Like that would have to be like the primary. Like it would have to be a driving movie or show, or it'd be like Fury Road or Ronin or something. I don't know. The Bond movie villains have cars. Do they anymore? Do they anymore though? I know the old cheesy ones did. Little like submarine cars and things or whatever, but I've never watched many or any of the like old Bonds, Sean Connery Bonds or anything like that to really have a frame of reference on that. We did watch Zardoz, the other Sean Connery classic that is definitely rated R and above for its very strange psychedelic 70s themes. Oh, there's Wolfie. His footsteps were muted by the snow. Fast and Furious. I don't know all the cars from Fast and Furious. Who's even the villain? Who was the villain in Fast and Furious? I don't know. Was it the friends we made along the way? No, I got nothing. I got nothing on that one, I'm afraid. Do you understand, Zardoz? I understand what they might have been going for, but I don't understand the route they took to get there. Oh, man. Anyway. Daniel Flamino. I'm going through a lot of boats, Daniel Flamino. I should get more wood. Oops. Not a tree for miles. Careful, Wolfie. Swinging my boat. Daniel Flamino had a question. Have you ever engaged in any kind of activism, IRL, like volunteer work or protesting? I hadn't. And that was one of my reasons very early on, if you've been with me for a while, for turning Farlands or Busts to attaching a charity fundraiser to it, because I hadn't done anything like that, really, ever. And and because I'm I'm not gonna go out and I mean I could, but I'm not gonna physically volunteer because of iceberg anxieties and just not being comfortable in those situations. I figured this was kind of the way I could get into that realm and still make some sort of a difference, even if it is a hands-off approach sort of difference. But I did in a PAX South. It must have been PAX South 2017. Maybe even 2016. I don't remember. Right after they announced the Muslim ban, the first of many obvious signs. Somebody I know there organized a little protest march up to the local politician's office, and it was a very small group of people. Cone came with. I didn't hold any signs, but I'm okay, yeah, this is a low frills, low low impact kind of thing. And that was interesting, an experience. Just because I'd never done anything. I haven't done anything like that since either, but it was because I knew people and it was a small group. That made it more comfortable. And a lot of people had never done anything like that before, so the organizer kind of, was referencing as it's baby's first protest sort of introduction. Yeah, that was interesting. And I guess that was my only I understand the importance, and I would maybe even want to, but I don't know enough people where it would, I think, be, like I said, safe. Not that it has to be safe, but as safe as you can presumably what's what I'm looking for? My words are all not working. Prepare yourself for. Because obviously you don't want to go to a protest by yourself. So yeah, So yes, kind of, but also no, not really. Daniel Flamino. Indeed. Indeed. You yourself can get involved by going to farlandsorbust.com and donating to the Equal Justice Initiative through Farlands or Bust and ask a question while you're at it. Whoa, that's a cliff. Ah, jeez. Ah, jeez. He's fine. He's fine. Wolfie's fine. So yeah, that's the end of the questions that I have. So get those donations in and ask some questions. Give me some things to talk about. Spooky noises. That would be much appreciated. And we will continue walking west here. Regardless. Of course, with the the going back to Tiltify, I have a donation overlay so that I haven't done any, but I can do streaming of Farlands or Bust as I had done, and is what was responsible for us reaching that floating point when we did. So hopefully that entices even some live donations. I still got to check if it integrates with stream elements, overlays at all. Went to one of the Daniel Flaminos in the chat. I went to one of the climate marches, but boy, the anxiety was real. Yeah, that would be the thing. And I mean, I guess that's also kind of the point. Like, oh, the anxiety you're feeling is nothing compared to what would happen if this XYZ problem doesn't get resolved, or is nothing compared to the anxiety that this marginalized group of people that you're marching for feels on a day-to-day basis just trying to live their lives. So, yeah, it is a bit of a give and take in that regard, I think. Indeed. I mean, I vote. Would you consider voting to be a kind of activism? That, I don't know. Probably not, but required, perhaps, activism. Yeah. Ooh, iron. I'll take it. This is going to be the end of the episode, hidey hole. Some free iron. Except for the fact that my shovel is going to break. Don't. Let's... Oop, that... Oh. There we go. That's better. Well, that's kind of dangerous. Well, that's where my torch is. Oh, this whole situation is dangerous. I was thinking, like, if there was a creeper on the top of that block, if I dug my way out, it would just fall right on top of me. I'm nervous about that. Let's make some stuff here, why don't we? I can't make a furnace, but I can make a new shovel. Ding. I can also make some beds. Make some beds! And I already recommended and reminded you to go to farlandsorbust.com to donate. Twitch.tv/KurtJMac to watch these Farlands or Bust episodes and streams live. And I hope you have a good weekend. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Disgusted cheese.